All right. Hey, you guys. Thanks for jumping on. Thanks for being here. I am going to go ahead and get started. If you are jumping on, if today is the first day, or if you're watching this video, go back and watch the first day, first day one. We're on day two of a 3-day series on money and money mindset. And I was telling a friend last night, she was like, I love the training from yesterday. Really good thoughts, good things to think about. And I was like, yes. In order to like step into day two and day three, you have to be able to uncover and identify your current views about money in order to make a significant change. So until you are able to like sit with and recognize the thoughts that are currently creating your feelings and therefore your actions and therefore your results, in order to change those, you have to identify them. So that's what we did yesterday. We spent like a lengthy amount of time identifying current thoughts about money and how that's affecting us. And if you know how to be able to like how you can be able to identify if you do have a scarcity mindset. And so today we are going to talk about that again. But today we're going to talk about the only antidote to scarcity mentality, the only way to truly, completely rid yourself of scarcity mentality. And we talked a little bit yesterday about like, if you know, here's some of the effects of a scarcity mentality. Like these are some of the things that you could be experiencing if you have one. Maybe you're stuck in your business, or it's plateaued, you're having trouble hitting the next rank or your next goal or your next revenue goal, or you're having trouble launching the course or stepping into your full potential or giving yourself fully to your calling and your purpose, or maybe you're not being bold and talking about the things that you are doing, the things you believe in, like being bold and talking about the business opportunity, or you're not going out and trying to get more clients, or you are not doing a great job of telling people what you do and why you do it. These all are an effect or a result of a scarcity mentality. So in order to change that, you have to identify that first, and then we're going to talk about the two things to change that and get rid of it forever. So if you haven't watched day one, go do that. If this is your first day though, and you're watching live, my name's Whitney. I am a life coach for entrepreneurs, and I really do help my clients work through their thoughts about money and about scarcity mentality and about marriage and being a mom and running a successful business, or um, relationships with toxic people, or um, their thoughts about men, or their thoughts about marriage, or what it means to make a lot of money, and how do I reconcile that with the Lord telling us that the love of money is the root of all evil. Like these are all things that I work with my clients directly with every single time. And so I'm so excited to be sharing this today with you, because like these next 2 days are things that just make my heart so happy. It is something that I'm extremely passionate about, and that I really believe like the Lord has given me direct insight to. And as I have been in the company or around people or at conferences or retreats or trainings that have where I've engaged with people that have made a lot of money, and as I've seen people come from making nothing to making a lot, there are a few things that they will tell you leads them to success. And so I'm kind of gathering all of those things and giving them to you. But today we are going to be talking about the only antidote to scarcity mentality. And if you haven't guessed it already, it is gratitude. So today we're going to be talking about gratitude, and then tomorrow we are going to be talking about the secret to building wealth. So this is kind of the next step. Once you have identified scarcity, if you've got scarcity mentality, now you're thinking like, okay, what do I do with it? So I'm going to tell you what you're going to do with it today and why gratitude is so important. And then tomorrow, after you've come to a place where you can start implementing pieces of this into your life, and become aware of how gratitude affects your brain and your results, then we're going to talk about, okay, now that I've got that under control, what does it look like to actually build a life of wealth and manage my mind around that? Okay. So here's the thing. I'm going to read, I love quotes. You guys know that. I'm going to read some of my favorite quotes on gratitude, with some really some people that I respect that have said this. So the first one, you guys, last couple days, I have said this guy's name, totally botched it, which is so funny. Ralph Waldo Emerson. I have just like totally annihilated his name and some of the things, but he says, Ralph Waldo Emerson says, cultivate the habit of being grateful for every good thing that comes to you and to give thanks continuously. And because all things have contributed to your advancement, you should include all things in your gratitude. James Allen says, no duty is more urgent than giving thanks. And we're going to talk about the difference between being thankful and grateful, or gratitude and thankfulness. Melody Beatty says, gratitude turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos into order, confusion into clarity. It makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. Maya Angelou says, let gratitude be the pillar upon which you kneel to say your nightly prayer, and let faith be the bridge that you build to overcome evil and welcome good. I'm going to read that one more time. Let gratitude be the pillow upon which you kneel to say your nightly prayer, and let faith be the bridge you build to overcome evil and welcome good. And then one of my absolute favorites, and this is like one of my favorite quotes of all of these, is from Brené Brown. She says, what separates privilege from entitlement is gratitude. What separates privilege from entitlement is gratitude. This is like when I began like my search and my research on gratitude, I think this is one of the things that really was sitting heavy with me. Like me asking the Lord, what does it look like to sit in a place of contentment and gratitude, while also with this immense belief that I was created for more, with this ambition to create more wealth, to give more away. Like, what does that look like to actually sit with every day? Because they feel polar opposite. It feels like on one hand, I should just be thankful for exactly what I have. I have enough. I'm content. I've got a roof over my head. I've got food. I can feed my family. I can take care of my family. We live in a beautiful area. And then also wrestling with like, okay, then what does it mean to actually strive and work and want to make a lot of money? Like, how do those things work together? And so that is what I want to do today. I want to talk about like how ambition and gratitude can work together. So here's the thing, and this is fascinating to me. So from a scientific perspective, gratitude is not really just an action. Okay, it's not something that we just do. It's actually a positive emotion. So I talk a lot about the thought model and how a circumstance is like a factual, something someone said to you, something happened, something that you're going to try to do, a goal, whatever it is. And then your thoughts about that create a feeling, create an action, create a result. Okay. So from a scientific perspective, gratitude is not just an action. It can also be in the feeling line. It can also be an emotion that we express, but it actually serves a biological purpose. So positive psychology defines gratitude in a way where scientists can measure its effects. This is so interesting to me because I actually wanted to know, like, okay, scientifically, how does gratitude make us more money? How does gratitude like make us happier? How does gratitude actually tangibly show up in our lives? Because I can have a gratitude journal and write down all the things that I'm grateful for, but like, why? Like, what does that actually do? What is that doing in my brain? So positive psychology defines gratitude in a way where scientists can actually measure its effects. So basically, you can argue that gratitude is more than feeling thankful. It's more than just like, thank you so much for doing this. It's a deeper appreciation for someone or something that produces longer lasting positivity. So rather than just like, hey, thanks for making me a sandwich. Thanks for taking the kids tonight. Thanks for whatever. Thanks for this. Thanks for gratitude is a very deep appreciation for someone or something that produces a more lasting positivity. Two things about that. Number one, Gratitude wires your brain for increased productivity and profits. Number one, gratitude wires your brain for increased productivity and profits. Number two, gratitude actually changes your focus to what you have instead of what you're missing. So gratitude actually has the ability to rewire your thinking and your brain to focus on what you have instead of what you lack. The important thing here is if you only focus on what you lack, we know this, your brain is wired to look for all of the evidence to support that thought. If you think, I don't have enough money, I don't have a big enough house, I don't have a big enough business, I don't have a nice enough car, I don't have whatever it is, your brain will always look for the evidence to support those thoughts. So when your car breaks down, see, I don't have a nice enough car. When you weren't able to get the amount of groceries that you wanted to this month, see, I don't have enough money for groceries. See, she just ranked up to the next rank advancement and I'm not. See, she's making more money than I am. Like your brain will be consumed with what you are lacking if you are not implementing gratitude into your daily life. Okay, so this is awesome. I'm going to give you a little more science and then we're going to get into some weeds. Showing gratitude is not actually just saying like, thank you. So Wong and Brown in 2017 asked how they're doing this study, and I'm going to kind of read through this, but they wanted to know how gratitude affects us mentally and physically, actually. So here's what they did. Hold on one second. So they broke people up into three groups, okay? Group one wrote a gratitude letter to another person every week for 3 weeks, group one. Group two wrote about their thoughts and feelings about negative experiences, okay? So group one wrote a letter to another person every week for 3 weeks. Group two wrote about their thoughts and feelings about negative experiences. Group three didn't write anything. And then all three groups actually received counseling, like did this for 12 weeks and then put them into counseling. Group one actually reported significantly better mental health, and the intervention ended after that. Okay, so here's what their findings suggests. The researchers analyzed all their findings, and these were their effects, and they determined that gratitude does 4 things from the 3 groups, okay? Number 1, gratitude disconnects us from toxic negative emotions and accompanies them, okay? So anything that's like ruminating in our brain, it accompanies. So it disconnects our thoughts from toxic negative emotions. So they said that basically writing the letter helped them shift their attention to positive emotions. Number 2, expressing gratitude helps us, even if we don't explicitly share it with someone, we're still happier and more satisfied because we've actually completed the exercise. So even, and one of the things we're going to talk about later is sharing our gratitude, sharing what we're thankful for with others, but even just expressing gratitude helps us, even if we don't explicitly share it with somebody else. Okay. Third thing, I don't know why it just got all pink. There we go. We're back. The positive effects of gratitude writing compound like interest. So you might not notice the benefit of a daily or weekly practice, but it will compound after weeks or months. So it's kind of like, I don't know, taking your vitamins maybe, that you may not notice anything the first day or the second day or the third week or the fourth week or the third month. But after 6 months, what do you always tell your people? I feel so much better if you've been consistent, because that consistency is compounding. Okay. It's the same thing with habits, right? Like the first, you may not notice that you are creating a habit, but I've been reading Atomic Habits lately. There are so many things, everything that we do in life is actually habitual. The way we wake up and eat our breakfast or get ready, like we have these micro habits in our lives. But even just expressing gratitude continuously, like consistently is a compounding effort. Number 4, a gratitude practice trains the brain to be more in tune with experiencing gratitude. So a positive plus a positive equal more positives, meaning the more that you express gratitude, the more that you are thinking about being grateful, the more that you are meditating on what you're grateful for and practicing gratitude, the more you will look and the more that your brain will go and find the evidence to support those thoughts. So here's the thing. You may be walking around saying like, I'm generally a pretty happy person and like this is not something that I actually like. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm going to be really blunt with you, but what is keeping you from stepping into your full potential, what is keeping you from stepping into the abundance mindset, from like actually believing that success is inevitable, like actually being able to picture what it looks like for you to be successful in your life, is gratitude. Because what's happening is if you are only looking at the things that you are lacking and the ways that you aren't measuring up and the things that the expectations that you're not meeting, you will only see failure. Failure breeds failure. Okay. So I want you to just I really want you to sit with the thought and just be open to this. What if this could change things? What if thinking about and being grateful and practicing gratitude, if that was the only thing that was keeping me from making $1 million, would it be worth it to change? Yo, would it be worth it to practice, put this into your practice so that you could experience a life of success that is inevitable just by implementing this one thing? Okay, so I'm gonna skip one of the parts because I've got a story that I want to tell you. Okay, so I want to give you 4 ways to start doing this, to start implementing gratitude. Okay. And then I've got a story to tell you. Okay, so the 4 ways, these are going to be really simple, but 4 ways that you can start practicing gratitude, obviously, is build your capacity for more gratitude. Okay. So because we've learned that this is compounding, I want you to begin to bring your attention to the things that you are grateful for. So the more that you do this, the easier it will become. And this is not like the next one is going to be get a journal and start writing down the things that you're grateful for. But hold on. But I want you to start becoming aware of the things that you're grateful for all during the day. So I'll give you an example, kind of a funny example, but my little guy gets up, my 2-year-old gets up in the morning first thing. He's up before most people. And so when I go and get him out of his crib, he does this really cute thing right now where like I'll pick him up and we'll walk out of his bedroom and he'll look straight at me in the eyes and he'll go, "Hi, Mom." And every single, like, even though I'm getting up at 6:30, whatever it is to go like get him out of his crib, it's something that I look forward to. Like I get to engage in a really special, intimate way with him every single morning. And he says, "Hi, Mom." And he's so cute when he does it. Like it is something that when I think about like the most important things in my life, the most important things that I value, that I'm grateful for, it's that. You give me that over $1 million, like you give me the choice. You want $1 million or do you want him to say that to you for the rest of your life? Like, oh, come on. So when I'm in, like that sets my morning off completely. Like if I have that interaction with sweet baby James, it like totally changes my attitude about being up early. This could also look like, I'll give you another example. I go put my kids down for bed and I know, okay, I'm going to have to do a little bit of work before I go to sleep. And often I put my kids down. It's still light outside right now. And so I can sit in my bed, which I'm in my bedroom. So that's close to me right now. And I have this gorgeous view outside and it's quiet and I can sit there with my computer, and even if it's just for a moment, I can be so grateful that I have the ability to sit in a beautiful room, in a beautiful bed with an incredible business, and I get to work here on something that I know I'm called to. It could be I'm really grateful for a boutique down the street that I get most of my clothes from, and it makes it super easy and simple and minimalistic for me to just like walk in there and grab something, because I don't like making choices and I don't like shopping. So it could, like, I don't care what it is. I don't care what you're grateful for, but I do think that spending serious time thinking about and writing down or jotting down things that you are grateful for increases your capacity. The second thing, when you are writing things down in a journal or on your phone or whatever, I want you to be specific. Like, what about that experience makes you feel gratitude? The more specific your brain can get, the more deeply you'll feel that emotion. Okay? So pay attention to the ordinary events, but I want you to get really specific around the thoughts behind why you're grateful for that. Okay. So it could be really simple one day, like running water and like fluffy pillows or whatever it is, but like, why? I love my pillows because it means I don't wake up every single morning with a neck ache. I love having running water because I drink like 5 gallons, like a gallon a day. So I want you to be very specific about why you're grateful. Okay. The third thing, which is really interesting because I don't think it's always completely necessary to tell someone else what you're grateful for, but make it a practice to tell your friends, or to tell your friends why you're grateful. Like, my friends know when we get on Marco Polo, I've got a group of there are 4 of us total. Call each other our foxhole girls. We're in each other's foxhole all the time. Like, I tell them an uncomfortably amount of times how grateful I am for them. You can ask them. I get in there and I get like weepy and mushy all the time. And I tell them, like, I'm so grateful for the space that you hold for me, where I can take off my mask and I can be myself, and I can tell you about all of the hard things and all of the amazing things, and you will not think of me any different. You love me unconditionally. Like, I tell them an uncomfortably amount of times how grateful I am for them. I tell my coach that. I tell my mom that. Like, if there are people in my life that I'm grateful for, I tell them. Most of my clients do this also. You guys, like, it never gets old to hear why someone is grateful for you. And actually, research has found that even just expressing gratitude can strengthen that relationship, obviously. I want you to begin telling people around you how much you're grateful and why you're grateful for them. Okay? Awesome. Number 4. This is the one I want to tell you stories about. Find gratitude in the challenges. Okay. So this last week, my husband decided that he wanted our family to go on the incline. So if you don't know what that is, and if you're not from Colorado Springs, you probably don't, but in Colorado Springs, there is this path up a mountain. And gosh, I'm going to get the stats wrong. It's over 2,000 steps up. It's 1,000 vertical feet. So is it a mile up? Not 1,000 vertical feet, a mile up. It's a mile up. It's over 2,000 steps. Okay. We're talking like big. I hope I'm getting that right. It doesn't matter. I think that's right. I'll give you the stats if I miss those. So anyway, railroad ties all the way up a mountain. It's very steep. The view is amazing. Okay. But he wants me and my 3 kids, 9, 6, and 2, to go up it one night after like we're done with work. So I'm like, okay, I've been working out. Like, I feel good. My legs are strong. My lungs are like getting stronger. This is where we're going in the evening. So it's a little bit better than the middle of the day where the sun is like beating down on you and you feel like you're going to melt and wither away and die because it's so hot, which it's not even that hot because we live in Colorado. But as we're going up, we have this like, it's kind of cloudy, so it's not hot and it's not sunny on us. And it's just like this rain, like a little bit of mist. And then it kind of rains a little harder, like halfway up. And I'm like, and I'm walking up the stairs, and every stair, I'm like, I mean, because we're talking 2,000 stairs, you guys. Like, this is a serious stair stepper, and they're like big stairs, like railroad size. So I'm like walking up each step, and I had this thought that the rain felt amazing. Like, thank you. Thank you so much, God, for the rain that's sprinkling on me, pouring on me, drenching me right now, because it means that my body that's producing a lot of steam and is really hot right now is like finding relief. And then it hit me like what will bless my life in one area may ruin another part of my life. And like rain on your wedding day, or too much rain that happened in Texas or whatever, and the floods or the hurricanes, like even though this is one element that could do good or harm, like you can be super grateful for it in this one context, but then in this other context it could feel like a massive challenge. And I think of that and I also think of like how that relates to my life as even being in a relationship, a friendship with a narcissist for a very long time. Like even being in a toxic relationship, I am so incredibly grateful for that relationship today. While I was going through it, was I grateful? No. I was in a very dark place. I questioned my identity. I questioned what I was capable of. I questioned what my calling was. I questioned if I was a good leader. I questioned if I was even worth working a business. I questioned if I was a good mom, if I was a good wife. Like because of that relationship, I allowed myself to question everything about who I was. But here's what that did. It brought me to a place where it forced me to reckon with who I wanted to become, and it forced me into a position of change. Did I want to stay and make myself small in order to make this other person feel comfortable, or to step on or step on eggshells, or to avoid confrontation with this person? Everything that I was doing was to manipulate myself so that I would avoid what the confrontation was that was about to happen. And because of that, I didn't allow myself to step into who I really was meant to be, my purpose, my calling as a believer, because of that relationship, until I got to the point where I decided enough was enough and I was ready to change. And now I know that if I hadn't gone through that, if I hadn't been refined through that process, I never would have come out on the other side with confidence in exactly what I was supposed to do, and confidence knowing that I made the right choice to become a coach. And I'm telling you this because you may be in the thick of that toxic relationship, of the lowest point you've ever been in your life, of in the midst of a very deep, dark depression. But after this season, through this refinement, through this journey of becoming, the other side of it could potentially be freedom, could potentially be the best season you've ever experienced. This is the season that's teaching you what you'll need to know in order to equip you to do what you were meant to do, to learn the lessons that you need to learn in order to impact and benefit and teach and encourage and inspire other people. Your influence is built out of this season. So I want you to get really clear about what this season is teaching you and the person that you want to become. And if the person that you want to become is available to you, And if that feels so far off, let's have a conversation, because that is what I am so passionate about as a life coach, is really getting to the heart of who you are and then look at who you want to become and how do we make that transition? How do we go from here to there? And if you don't feel like you can do it yourself, that's where I come in and help partner. So I want you to see the gratitude that I have for one of the deepest, darkest seasons of my life. And actually healed to the point where I am so thankful for this person in my life teaching me the lessons that I needed to be taught in order to come out on this other side. Philippians 4:6-7 says, do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which is the ultimate peace, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. This was like my mantra. Like every single day when I felt anxious and when my heart was racing and when I felt small and when I felt like I was making myself small to make everyone else around me feel comfortable, this is what I did. Lord, it doesn't matter what this person says. It doesn't matter what this person says. It matters what you say about me. It matters how I show up in this world and am thankful and grateful for the things that you have equipped me with and you have given me. And I get the choice to use what you've given me and do whatever I want in the future. Like everything is available to me. There's nothing that's off limits from what I'm able to accomplish, because I know that you've brought me through the season to be in a place where I am fully capable of doing exactly what you've called me to. Nothing's off the table. So I want to give you this message and tell you that scarcity is the only way to get rid of that scarcity is by implementing gratitude into your life on a daily basis. Like I was at a retreat one time and all of these millionaires were getting up on stage, like life coaches and business coaches and like financial coaches. I mean, they were like massive millionaires. And every single one of them said, the most important thing that you have to do on a daily basis is implement gratitude, is to be grateful, is to be aware of what you have and be content with exactly where you're at right now. And if that's a hard thing for you to do, send me a message. Let's have a conversation. Let's get on a consult. But I want you to practice implementing this into your life every single day. This is the only thing, the only antidote to scarcity mentality. In order for you to change those thoughts, you have to have something to change them to, and you get to choose those thoughts. You get to choose what you want to be grateful for. You get to choose how you want to perceive something or view something or have a different perspective on something. I could choose to believe that that season in a relationship with that narcissist was the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I could. That would be super easy. But instead, I think about that person, and every single time I think about like, gosh, this is hard. Gosh, could I quit? I think about the person who I was and I'm like, Lord, help me. I am never going back. I never want to go back to where I was leaning on my own understanding and I was working out of my own strength and I was trying to be something to make myself small in order to make somebody else feel better. I never want to go back to that, because that wasn't God's ultimate plan for me. That wasn't the best version of me. That wasn't who I want to become. If you were in a season where you're trying to figure out who you want to become, that is what I do. I want to help you find that. I want to help you discover that. I want to help you step into that. I want you to take it. It is so open and available to you. Okay. I love you guys so much. I'm so excited about talking tomorrow about secret to building wealth. There it is. It is totally a mindset shift around money. I think it's going to blow your mind, because it's not how much you can save. So come back tomorrow at this time. I'm so excited to talk with you some more. Have an amazing Tuesday.